Hey everyone, welcome to Steph and Key TV. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you thought of today's video. Alright, Orange County, let's get into it. So we open up where we left off. This is part 2 of the reunion, and so Shannon drops the bomb that Bronwyn had talked to Shannon's daughter, Stella, 14-year-old daughter, and told her, call me if you want the good stuff. So everybody's silent. And then Bronwyn says, I'm sorry. And she's like, I don't remember saying that. And Shannon's like, well, you said it. and then all of a sudden, Bronwyn bursts into tears. And Gina backs her up. Emily backs her up. She's like, I'm sorry. She's crying. She said, I'm sorry. I don't remember saying that. And I'm really sorry. I wouldn't have said that if I was sober. And Shannon's like, thank you. I accept that. And Kelly's like, you accept that? If somebody had said that to my daughter, I would go off. And Shannon's like, well, she was not sober, so, which makes me believe that, and then they just brush it away. So this makes me believe that Shannon was only using this because Bronwyn kept saying, you're drunk, you have a drinking problem to Shannon like over and over again, and Shannon used this as ammo. She didn't use this because she really cared. I feel like if Shannon really cared, she would have come after Bronwyn. You don't let someone, friend or not, try to give drugs to your 14-year-old child. Like, you're just your child in general, and be okay with it. How is that okay? And then you're friends with them? No, Shannon. You use this because Bronwyn was coming after you, telling everybody that you have a drinking problem, and you threw this out there to get the heat off of you. And I just don't really feel like you're that concerned of to allow this to happen. Just be like, well, I accept that, and then move on. What? Okay, whatever, Shannon. Whatever. So we go over Gina's package, just showing everything throughout the show, this season. And we see Gina's new relationship. It's very different, thankfully, than her relationship with Matt. She just has like a very loving, caring relationship, and they really work together as a dynamic because they both have kids. So, and then we see the trauma with Matt and the court situations and just what she's been through with him. And Andy asked her about her hair. I guess there's been a lot of talk about her hair. Like I said in the last part, Gina looks amazing at this reunion, like the best she's ever looked out of any season she's been on, so I'm loving it. But they go through and show like her past hairstyles. None of them were good. The one that she has now at this reunion, keep forever, because she looks amazing. And they Andy asked her about Matt and what's the new guy's name? Brian, I think. He asked how they're getting along, and she said they get along great. She spent Thanksgiving with her boyfriend now, and then they also spent it at his family's house. So everything was good there. We still don't know about what's going on with the court situation with Matt, because we hop over to Shannon, and Andy asked her what she did for her Thanksgiving. So Shannon spent Thanksgiving with her dad and with, why do I keep forgetting these men's names? Shannon spent Thanksgiving with her dad and her boyfriend and her family. Then we hop back over to Gina, and Gina is just talking about Matt, and it was just really sad. She said that they're co-parenting. They're doing a good job co-parenting. I still don't know how she was able to co-parent with this man who beat the crap out of her. But she says they're doing a good job. Hopefully, he accepts the plea deal, accepts responsibility, and accepts the plea deal. And she said that he would just have home arrest for about like 3 months. I still feel like he should go to jail, but the likelihood of that, she said, is very slim. So he'll probably just do 3 months home arrest, and the kids won't even really notice. So I mean, that's great for her kids, but he should go to jail. She says that they're gonna make it and they're gonna do well, but she's crying. She's very emotional. I feel like if he went to jail, even for those 3 months instead of house arrest, she might get a little bit more peace, because she says that they're doing well co-parenting, but you could see just the emotional trauma that it's still affecting her. And I just don't feel like it's right that he just gets to get off scot-free. But she is going to do the impact statement, so hopefully something will be done and some sort of justice, because I can't imagine having to co-parent with someone who beats you and just be okay with it. Like, she's clearly not okay, and it's sad to watch. So they go to break, and some of the ladies get up to pee. Bronwyn bursts into tears again and just keeps saying, "I'm so sorry, Shannon." Shannon just says, "Bronwyn, it's okay, it happened a long time ago. I know you're sorry," and gets up. They walk off and leave. Bronwyn's still crying. I think the makeup person and Emily go to comfort her. I mean, I don't know. I do feel like she's sorry, but it does feel like, please comfort me and make me feel better about the horrible thing that I did. It feels very much like that. And for Shannon just to be like, "I know you're sorry, it happened a long time ago." So then why are you bringing it up now, Shannon? If it's not that big of a deal, why are you bringing it up now? Which is why, I used to be a fan of Shannon. I did. And as you've seen from me reviewing this season, it's gone. I am not a fan of Shannon anymore. I will be totally fine if she does not come back. The fact that you just brought this up to get the heat off of you, because we all know that you have a drinking problem, Shannon, allegedly. The fact that you're just like, "Oh, it happened a long time ago," you're brushing it off, but it was a big enough deal for you to bring it up because Bronwyn was saying that you have a drinking problem. You just wanted the heat off of you. You don't really care that she offered your daughter drugs. You don't. If you really cared, you would have done something about it. You've done nothing. If it happened a long time ago, did you find out then and you did nothing? Or are you finding out now and you're doing nothing? You did nothing. Shannon is so phony baloney. I just can't. I'm so mad. I am so mad. Like, as a mother, like, how are you just like, "Oh, it's okay, it's fine"? So then why are you bringing it up? If it's just okay that this woman offered your daughter drugs, if it's just fine, why are you bringing it up, Shannon? This is so BS. So we get Kelly's package, and like, she's horrible. She's a horrible person. I'm not even gonna waste a lot of this video on her, but Bronwyn's trying to convince her that her actions are racist. She doesn't see them as racist. She screams out, "I'm black, how can I be racist?" And everyone there and at home are like, "What?" No. Just because you did a little history and pulled your 2%, if that, of some black DNA doesn't mean that you get to say racist things about black people and it'd be okay. No, Kelly, no. And I'm glad Andy corrected her and was like, "You don't identify as a black woman. You haven't lived your life as a black woman. Break it down for the moron, because she's not getting it." No. And thank you, Bronwyn, for clarifying that you've all been afforded white privilege. You have. Kelly, for you to say you haven't blows my mind that you can be that ignorant still. Like, so dumb. So dumb. We watched you enjoy white privilege. When you first came on, I didn't even know you were Latino, because you are white passing Latina. And to say anything else is false and delusional. No. This woman. So they go over to Elizabeth, and Andy says, "You said that this is the first time you learned what white privilege was. And have you experienced racism?" She said she absolutely did. When she was younger, she experienced racism. And so her father was like, "You look like a little Mexican girl. I don't want you to experience any more racism, so I want you to not speak Spanish and just be white passing." So she's another white passing Latina. Like, this is real. This happens. This is reality. We have white passing minorities. This is a thing. You can be a minority and still be white passing and still be afforded white privilege. It happens all the time. Can we move on? Can we just be done away with this cast? Like the whole cast, I'm perfectly fine with it. This is a spectacle. They're all mad at Bronwyn because they feel like Bronwyn made them look bad because she's out protesting. She's supporting Black Lives Matter. She's supporting the LGBTQ community, and it makes it seem like they're not. So then Kelly's like, I got 4 black friends. Emily's like, I went to a drag show with you and your son. Like, they're just throwing them out. Elizabeth throws out, I'm bi. And so everybody's like, wait, what? And then it gets quiet. And Shannon's like, huh? And then so Elizabeth said she's bi, but she's not practicing. And Gina's like, what is this, a violin? Like, how are you practice it? But she just said she's not interested in a woman right now. Bronwyn says that I thought she was gay. I tried to kiss her and there was a no-go. And they said, like, why? And then Elizabeth's like, well, she's married and she's got 7 kids. So, but she's like, I'm bi. I just don't put it out there like Bronwyn does. So they just feel like Bronwyn's just all show, always putting it out there, which she is. I mean, she is really. She is. She is. I'm glad that she's supporting Black Lives Matter. I'm glad she's supporting LGBTQ. But she is also like a drama queen. And she is also like, look at me. This is what I'm doing. So I see both sides. I still don't agree with women trying to throw out their tokens just so they don't seem homophobic or racist. It's just, oh, it's ridiculous. But this Elizabeth revelation like threw everybody off. They were not expecting that at all. So to get away from this darkness, they do like a montage of the trips, the only 2 trips that they got to have. And it was Bronwyn's vow renewal and then the lake house. And so they show all the fun that they had. It's a good time. They asked everyone what was their favorite part of Bronwyn's vow renewal. And it was drunk Shannon talking to the kids, which was a hot mess. It was. That was pretty funny. And they talk about Shannon's FOMO because she missed out on the trip and she had all these things planned and she wanted to go really bad. So, oh well. Hopefully they won't bring you back and you'll miss another trip. And now we're back to the darkness. We go to Elizabeth and just sharing about her trauma from being in the religious cult. Her grandmother was the founder and her dad was one of the preachers in the cult. And the way they got out was her mother gathered up the kids, put them in a U-Haul or 18-wheeler and took off. So she's still dealing with the effects of the cult naturally. And Andy's like, maybe this is why you didn't want to have sex with Jimmy. Maybe there's some blockage there. There's just like a lot that's being revealed about Elizabeth because of her trauma with the cult and just with the lying, the making up stories, the having to appear perfect, the rich, lavish lifestyle, the boyfriend. It's just all of it is to cover the pain and the darkness that she's dealing with. I'm very glad that she's still going to therapy. She said she's going once a week and she's getting help that can only benefit her in the long run. So I'm glad for that. And hopefully that she continues just to find ways to heal because I can't imagine and having to deal with that. I'm glad that the women are being supportive, even though in all honesty, it feels a little fake just because we know that like after like Elizabeth poured out her heart to Bronwyn when they got back, they had really no communication. So it just doesn't seem like it's genuine. And even like Emily was like, when Elizabeth talked about going to therapy, Emily was like, good, I'm glad you're going. Because, we talked about that. And so I'm glad you're going. To make it seem like, I had a hand in you going to therapy. And it was just like, Emily, really? Like, you don't have to talk all the time. You don't have to be involved in everything. Maybe it wasn't like that, but it just came off like that. Because I just feel like Emily had no storyline. So her storyline is to jump in on everyone's. And so she saves it all up to talk throughout the whole reunion about everybody else's situations because she had none. We need to get rid of this cast. Like, we really do. We need to. So Andy's talking to production and he's like, are you guys gonna bring Sean out? And Shannon's like, Sean? Who's Sean? And they're like, Sean, Bronwyn's husband. She's like, oh, oops. So he comes out and he's sitting, and then they go through Bronwyn's package of their hot mess of a relationship. And I noticed that when they were watching, everything was fine, but when they got to the messy parts, Bronwyn starts fixing her hair. It's a little too much for her, huh? I don't know. I feel like she... Oh, I'm glad that like Gina flinched when they talked about Bronwyn slapping Sean, because I feel like this whole season, after we found out that she abuses him, we kind of just brushed it off and just kept going, and we were supposed to just keep watching this woman as if she was okay, even though she was slapping up her husband. Like, so I really, truly hope that they finally talk about it, because I've been super pissed that they haven't. So Sean, they were talking about like their relationship, and Sean just being glad that Bronwyn is finally able to be who she is. He's like, finally, this is something I can't fix. Like, she likes women. There's nothing I can do about that. And so they talk about Shari's involvement, and she said like she was my friend. She kept me sober. I was married to my best friend, but I was falling in love with her. She wanted me to leave him for her. And so they said, so Shari's a lesbian? She said, no, it's just connection between us two. And I said I wasn't going to leave him. So then she left and I left, or like Sean left. He went on a trip. And when I came back, the nanny or the housekeeper told Bronwyn that while Bronwyn was gone, Sean had somebody else there. And Bronwyn was like, she was in my bed. She met my baby. Mad. So after they like spent this time talking about an open relationship, Bronwyn was mad that Sean was like, all right, well, I'm moving on. And see, we did not know this. I thought just Sean was like the suffering husband, but like he was moving on with his life. And she didn't like that. And like Elizabeth said, it's one-sided. It's always been one-sided. It's always about Bronwyn. She's so selfish. She's allowed to bring a woman into their house, be with her, have plans to like almost leave him for her. But the moment he moves on, oh, nope. Can't have that. Because it's one-sided. Whoo! She felt like, I can't let him have anybody else, because if he finds someone and falls in love, we get a divorce, and then who's going to take care of me? Because Sean's her meal ticket, really. He's taking care of her while she goes off and she's having all these girlfriends and stuff. Living this lavish lifestyle that she doesn't have to pay for. But if he finds someone else and kicks her out, she's on her own. Please do not bring her back. Please. So everybody's saying the same thing as me. Like, everybody on stage is like, so this is one-sided. You get to do what you want. He finances it. And of course, you're okay with it. And of course, your girlfriend's okay with it because your husband's paying for your guys' trip. Of course. This is a nightmare. I am so thankful that Gina brought up the abuse. Being a survivor of abuse, for Gina to talk about it and to call Bronwyn out and just say that like it hurt me that you just try to justify it. And I'm thankful that somebody said something. And then of course, like, so last minute, like Andy brings it up that people were pissed, and I was one of them. And he said what I was saying, like, if this had been a man smacking up his wife, he would be in jail, or he would be facing criminal charges, or he would be kicked off the show. There's no way they would let one of these house husbands talk about slapping the wife and stay on the show. There's just no way. So the fact that she gets to stay on the show, the fact that people are just okay with it, the fact that she's like, I don't have to justify myself to you guys, it's just wild. It's bizarre to me. It's so double standard. This man, great, he's dating. You need to get away from her. He's in an abusive relationship. She slaps him up. She takes his money. She goes off with her girlfriends and leaves him with the kids. And she's mad when he tries to find somebody else. Like, this is abuse. This is abuse. He needs to get far away from her. I'm so sick of her. If she comes back, I'm done. I'm done with the show. It was hard enough watching Kelly on this show. God. But if Bronwyn comes back and Kelly, like, that's it. I'm done. Done. Run, Sean. So we're at the end. Andy asks all the women what they've learned. Bronwyn and Kelly's, they didn't learn anything. They're self-serving and selfish. Emily and Shannon learned that family is the most important thing. Oh, including Elizabeth. She says that material things are not as important as she used to think. It's about family. And Gina has learned to be stronger and stand up for herself, and she can only control what she can control. So they end with some mocktails, which was nice. I thought that was nice, even though there were some complaints. And he asked everyone like what their hope for 2021 is. And I too hope that we can get out of this pandemic, and especially for us Californians, because we have been in a state of perpetual lockdown, even though some of us have been following the rules. And it's not fair that we are trapped like forever. Like, can we get out, please? If anything, 2021, let us out, please. I'm begging you, let us out. So that is the end of season 15 of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Y'all, this was rough. I've been a Real Housewives fan for a long time. I started with OC, it's the original, and I've been watching it ever since, and it just sucks that it's so bad now. I really hope that they can recast. I don't want them to scrap it just because it's the OG. If you get rid of the OG, I just don't know like the ripple effect that's going to have on the rest of the Real Housewives, so it's unfortunate, but I do hope they recast. There's been rumors that Andy says there might be a reboot, so we'll see, but they have to scrap this cast if they want to move forward. I just don't feel like we're going to put up with Kelly and Bronwyn's shenanigans any longer, so do something. But let me know what you thought of this finale. We're done of this part 2 of the OC. Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and hit that notification bell so you're in the know when I release a new video. And subscribe if you're new. I'd love to have you a part of TV. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.